On the night of her long-awaited promotion celebration, Marina's perfect life is upended when her own husband and sister confess an affair. But by dawn, she wields a forgotten prenuptial agreement that strips them of every penny, turning betrayal into her greatest triumph. During dinner, my sister said she was pregnant and that the father was my husband. But then I revealed a secret. You know when you think you know the people closest to you? When you believe that no matter what problems exist, certain lines would never be crossed? Well, I thought so too. My name is Marina. I'm 29, years old, and this is the story of how I discovered that some people are capable of anything to get what they want. It was a Thursday in March when I received news of my promotion. After 4 years working as a project manager at a tech company in Austin, Texas, I would finally be commercial director. I couldn't stop smiling at the office. I called David, my husband, and Beatrice, my younger sister, to share the joy. Let's celebrate at Terzo tonight, I suggested. Terzo was that chic Italian restaurant where a meal cost more than minimum wage. But I could afford it. I worked hard for this. I arrived first, wearing that navy blue dress David always said looked perfect on me. I chose a table in a secluded corner. I wanted privacy to celebrate. The dining room was full of executives and elegant couples, the kind of environment where I felt comfortable after years of building my career. When I saw them arriving together, I found it strange. Beatrice was radiant, wearing a smile I hadn't seen in a long time. And David seemed nervous. He always got a bit uncomfortable in expensive places. But there was something different that night, an intensity in the air I couldn't identify. Congratulations on the promotion, Mari, Beatrice said, hugging me with suspicious effusiveness. She was never this demonstrative, especially with me. We ordered a $200 bottle of Chianti, and I began telling them about the new projects I would lead, the 40% salary increase, the possibilities for international growth. Beatrice listened with intense attention. David kept fidgeting with his napkin. We also have news to share, Beatrice interrupted mid-sentence. She reached across the table and took David's hand. My stomach twisted. I'm pregnant, she announced. The world stopped. Literally. The restaurant voices became a distant buzz. The lights flickered as I stared at their intertwined hands, my sister's and my husband's, as if it were a mirage. Pregnant, I whispered. Beatrice nodded, running her hand over her still flat belly. 3 months, she said. It started right after your birthday. My birthday had been in December. It was now May. 3 months of betrayal, 3 months of lies, 3 months of them laughing at me while I worked 12-hour days to earn the promotion I had so wanted to share with the people I loved. Marina, say something? David asked, his voice coming after an eternity of silence. For the first time in years, I really looked at him. The man I'd married 4 years ago. He looked relieved, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. What do you want me to say? I asked, my voice strangely calm. Congratulations, Beatrice laughed, nervous, but genuine. Look, Mari, I know it's not easy, but these things happen. Love is love, right? And the baby? She ran her hand over her belly again. The baby needs both parents together. I picked up my purse slowly, left 2 $50 bills on the table, more than enough to cover my share of the bill, and stood. I'm going home. You do whatever you want. As I walked toward the exit, I heard David calling my name, but I didn't turn around. In the wall mirror, I saw their reflections still seated. Beatrice was smiling. Throughout childhood, Beatrice had lived in my shadow, and it had irritated her deeply. I was the older daughter, the responsible one, who got good grades effortlessly. She was the youngest, the spoiled one, whom our parents protected from everything, but it was never enough for her. We grew up in a middle-class family in San Antonio. Our father worked as an accountant at an oil company. Our mother was an elementary school teacher. We weren't rich, but we lacked nothing. Even so, Beatrice always felt she deserved more. When I earned a full scholarship to study business administration at the University of Texas, Beatrice called it rich girl's luck. When I graduated with honors and got an internship at a multinational in Austin, she said I had known how to sell myself. When I bought my first apartment at 25, she asked if I wasn't being too ambitious. The worst part was she truly believed she deserved what I had. without the effort, as if success were a matter of luck or favoritism, not hard work and sacrifice. Beatrice studied graphic design at a public university, graduated without distinction, and since then bounced from job to job, always complaining that bosses didn't recognize her potential. Our parents tried to balance things out. When I bought my Honda Civic, they bought her a used one. When I earned more, they increased her rent subsidy in San Antonio. As if compensating for my success meant keeping her on par. She was always curious about my salary, my investments, the apartment's value. Just sisterly curiosity, she said. But there was a calculating intensity in her questions I preferred to ignore. When I met David at a work party 5 years ago, Beatrice remarked, "He's not your type. He was handsome, kind, sold BMWs, and made a reasonable living, around $5,000 a month with commissions, but nothing compared to my $12,000 salary. Still, I fell in love. He was fun, affectionate, made me laugh. After stressful days at the office, Beatrice was always polite to him, but I noticed tension, especially over bills. David sometimes blushed, paying for my expensive tastes. Beatrice observed all this with a calculating look I recognized but preferred to ignore. You support him, don't you? She once asked when he slipped away to the restroom at Olive Garden. I don't support him, I replied. We split things proportionally. But to Beatrice, that was proof I had too much luck. A brilliant career, a beautiful apartment, a dedicated husband, investments growing every month. As if my achievements had fallen from the sky. I got home that night to find the apartment exactly how I left it. Bed made, dishes washed, everything in place. Strange how life could fall apart and still remain perfectly neat. David did not come home that night, of course. At 2 a.m, I received a message. I'm at B's house. We'll talk tomorrow. B. He called my sister B as if they'd been intimate for years, as if I didn't exist, as if our 4-year marriage were merely an inconvenient obstacle that had finally been removed. I spent the night pacing the 120 square meters of my apartment, trying to understand how I'd gotten here. How hadn't I seen the signs? His late nights. Beatrice's curious visits to Austin. She always stayed in hotels, never on my couch anymore. When the sun rose, I was still on the couch, my dress wrinkled, makeup smeared. 17 missed calls. From Mom. Beatrice had told her everything, doubtless in a romanticized version where they were 2 lovers fated to be together. I called my office and said I wouldn't be in. Simone, my assistant, sensed something was wrong but didn't press it. Call me if you need anything, she said. You never miss work. I took a long, hot shower, tried to wash away that sticky, betrayed feeling. Under the water, I finally cried. Not movie tears, but the exhausted sobs of someone who'd just lost 2 people they loved most. When I emerged, I had 3 messages from Beatrice. Mari, we need to talk. It wasn't how we wanted you to find out. Call me, please. I know it's difficult, but we can resolve this like adults. I deleted them all without responding. For the first time in years, I spent the entire day doing nothing productive, watching Netflix, ordering cold Chinese food, ignoring my phone that rang every 2 hours. That night, David came to retrieve some clothes. He still had my keys. Entering my apartment as if nothing had happened, he tried to explain. It just happened, Mari. We fell in love. I watched him pack his things. How long? I asked. 4 months, he admitted, folding the polo shirts I'd bought him at Nordstrom. 4 months of lies, empty I love yous, I said, while I worked to earn this promotion. He stopped packing and looked at me. What do you want me to do? He asked quietly. I'm going to find a lawyer, I told him, nodding toward the bed I'd bought alone. And I want this over. Quickly. He left 2 suitcases behind, promising to return for the rest. I called Helena, my best friend since college and a family law attorney in Houston. She listened quietly as I told her everything. When I finished, she sighed. Marina, I'm so sorry. I know how much you loved him and trusted your sister. She paused. About the divorce. I need all the marriage documents, bank statements, deeds, proof of income, investments, everything. I'll build the best case possible. Helena, I said, voice cracking, I don't care about the money. I just want it over. Don't say that, she replied. You fought hard to build what you have. You're not giving it away to someone who betrayed you. She was right. I pulled myself together and scheduled a meeting for the following week. Then I remembered I needed to organize my documents. Who thinks about divorce when they're happily married? Yet there I was, rifling through my filing system in the second-bedroom office. Colored folders labeled by year, bank statements, tax, returns, investment portfolios. I was proud of what I'd built, but now it felt fragile, as if a betrayal could erase everything. I found the green folder of marriage documents, birth certificates, our marriage license from Travis County. My stomach twisted when I saw the notation. Separate property regime. Most Texas couples choose community, property. Why had I chosen complete separation? Then I remembered, a prenuptial agreement. I went to the small safe in my closet and pulled out the sealed envelope from the Travis County clerk's office. My hands trembled as I opened it. The contract was clear. Complete separation of assets. Each spouse keeps everything they owned before and acquired during the marriage, no division upon divorce. Spousal support waiver. Neither party may claim alimony. Debt separation. Each party is responsible for their own debts. I sat on the edge of the bed, reeling. David had signed away any right to my apartment, investments, bonuses, or alimony, without even reading it. My net worth at 29 was over $600,000. A $400,000 apartment, $100,000 in investments, $50,000 in startup equity, $40,000 in savings, and a paid-off car worth $20,000. All mine, bulletproof. I messaged Helena photos of the signed agreement. This changes everything, she replied. Call me tomorrow. For the first time in days, I slept. 6 months later, the divorce was final. David didn't contest. It would have been hopeless. I was free on a sunny July morning. I threw myself into my work and thrived. As commercial director, I smashed targets, earning bonuses that pushed my monthly income to $22,000. My startup stake tripled. By October, I bought a new 3-bedroom loft, $700,000, all cash. I renovated it with a gym, home theater, and panoramic lake views. I traveled alone to Paris, Rome, Barcelona, first-class boutique hotels, Michelin-starred dinners. The loneliness I expected never came. After betrayal, the peace of solitude was almost addictive. No one to disappoint, no one to hide from. I began therapy with Dr. Rebecca Chen, who told me, "You grew up thinking you had to take care of everyone. When was the last time someone took care of you?" Her words unlocked something. I realized I'd spent my life supporting others at my own expense. By my 30th birthday, I'd settled into a fulfilling life. A shining career, financial independence, and a partner who valued me equally. Daniel, an architect with his own successful firm. My parents and Beatrice eventually faced the consequences of their choices. David lost his job in year-end cuts and now earned half as much. Beatrice moved back in with our parents, struggling to find work while raising a daughter, Sophia, who will never know the peace I've found. They live on child support and my parents' retirement, a lesson in shortcuts and self-inflicted hardship. I learned that real love doesn't steal your dignity. It builds with you. Family isn't just blood. It's who stands by you when everything falls apart. I continued donating to Sophia's medical bills, but never to Beatrice or David directly. My loyalty is to my values, not to those who betrayed me. 3 years after that fateful dinner at Terzo, I reflect on how that night was actually the best gift life gave me. It forced me to discover my worth, to set boundaries, and to protect what I'd built. Today, I live my life fully. No apologies, no regrets, just gratitude for the strength betrayal revealed in me. And that is the truth of my story.